Rent was due in 6 days, and my bank app was a shrug. The post said couples content. Light intimacy, no explicit. $800 same day, cash. It was tagged by a casting account I'd followed for brand shoots, coffee shop lifestyle junk, hand models holding mugs. When I'd med, the production assistant sent back something tidy and professional, a loft studio, a 2-hour block, wardrobe on site, consent forms in advance, government IDs for 2257 record keeping, standard model releases. She wrote closed set like a safety promise and no intercourse nudity, like a seatbelt. I showed Rafe the email while we were splitting a grocery burrito and pretending the tortillas were a budget. Easy money, I said, tapping the place where it said couples. Together. He read the fine print like he always does. Dates, call time, pay rate, the word chemistry used twice. If it's PG, he said, we can talk. He is an electrician's apprentice, the kind of man who keeps a voltage tester in his backpack and changes smoke detector batteries without announcing it. I am a woman who can talk herself into and out of anything if the numbers on a bill are ugly enough. We've been together 3 years. He has never missed a day of work. I have never missed an opportunity to narrate my way into believing a risk is just a story that will end well if I tell it right. We drove to the studio in a Corolla with a check engine light that's been flirting with us for a month. The building was one of those downtown boxes with freight elevators and a QR code taped to the buzzer. Upstairs smelled like drywall and coffee. The PA, Danny, 24 with a headset and a lanyard that said crew, collected our IDs, took a time-stamped photo of each of us holding them. 2,257 compliance, she explained, cheerful, and slid consent packets across a reclaimed wood table. The forms were not sexy. They were boxes and lines. Name, date, stage name, if applicable, hard nose, soft nose, safe word, post-scene check-in offered, initial here to accept, distribution rights, model acknowledges work for hire and waives claims to proceeds, in a font that thinks it's a lawyer. A line that said, simulated affection only. Kissing/petting allowed, no genital contact, wardrobe stays on, tops may be unbuttoned, and I underlined simulated, like it would protect me from anything real. Here's the thing, Danny said, setting down 2 waters. We cast couples. But sometimes, for this client, we separate for solo pickups. It's a look thing. Same rate either way. No pressure. If either of you isn't comfortable, we call it
solo pickups.
You didn't say that in the email, Rafe said, not unkindly. He has that tone that makes people want to be better. It's in the packet, she said, gesturing at the paragraph I hadn't read yet. We try to keep it easy. Consent means consent, she added, 2 palms up. A woman in a black tee labeled intimacy coordinator introduced herself next. Mara, she said, making eye contact with both of us like she'd practiced on skittish horses. We do a before/after. Boundaries now, same boundaries upstairs. If anything shifts, we stop. No one loses pay for a stop. That's our policy. I should have heard that as permission to breathe. I heard it as permission to keep telling myself this was fine. They walked us through the story. Coffee shop meet cute, a staged kiss by a window, hands in hair, his palm on my jaw while I smiled. The narration later would be some kind of date night spark, voiceover for an app. 2 camera ops, 1 grip, a gaffer, Mara and Danny. 6 people, all wearing sneakers and competence. Not seedy. Not smoky. Not a motel. We did a quick test pass together. Rafe's hand on my waist, my head tipped toward his like every poster you've ever seen for a rom-com. Lower your chin, the DP said. Great. Laugh, but not at him. At the moment, we laughed at nothing because we are decent at pretending. It went fine. It was also weird in a way I decided not to name. Then the producer. An older guy with kind eyes and a watch that cost rent. Walked in, looked at the live monitor, looked at me and said, could we grab 5 minutes solo with her? We like some cutaways. He meant my face finding the camera. He meant my neck when I look left. He meant the thing you can't write into a call sheet, the small heat someone brings when they forget to perform. I looked at Rafe for the kind of nod that says, we agreed to this. He didn't nod. He didn't shake his head. He just breathed in like he was making space for his heart to beat without panicking. Danny put a hand on the back of a chair. We can also stick to partners only, she said. She looked at me and then at Rafe. Totally your call. We came for couples, Rafe said to me, not to them.
Soft.
Like he was trying to keep the words from rattling the air. It's 5 minutes, I said, too quickly. It's just me by the window. It's the same money. We need the money. We need rent, he said. We don't need this. It should have been an easy choice then. Pick the man I live with over a stranger's idea of my cheekbones. But I did math. 800 covers the electric bill and half of rent. The Corolla needs work. I want to stop being the person who Venmos my sister for emergency groceries and swears I'll pay her back Friday. Mara stepped between us professionally. Let's check boundaries, she said, holding the clipboard like a flotation device. If we go upstairs with her alone, it's just eye lines and smiles. No touch.
No undressing.
I'll be next to the lens. No one will enter her space without asking. You, she said to Rafe, can watch on the monitor in the lounge or not. Whatever makes you less tense. He shook his head once, tiny. It's not about you being safe, he said to me. It's about me not watching you perform intimacy without me and then arguing with myself later about why it shouldn't matter. I can be the guy shrugging this off right now, or I can be the guy who tries to swallow it and becomes a version of myself I don't like. I know which is kinder. I'm not cheating, I said, hating how childish it sounded in front of strangers. I didn't say you were, he said. I'm saying this isn't my relationship. Danny, to her credit, didn't push. We can cancel, she said. We pay a 2-hour hold for showing up. It's not the full rate, but it's something. She slid that option across the table like a plate of toast when you've been crying. I wanted the full envelope. I wanted to be the one they picked. I wanted to not be the woman who always finds a way to minimize a partner's boundary because the numbers on a spreadsheet scare her more than the look on his face. Do 5 minutes, I said to the room, and to him I said, please. It's just cutaways. He blinked slow. Then he stood.
No child scrap. No sai.
He walked to the pegboard by the door and took the car key off the hook. He set it on the table in front of me. You take the car, he said. I'll grab the rideshare. I'm not going to watch you cross a line and then audition for sainthood by pretending I'm okay. I'm not built for that. I love you. I'm not staying for this. He looked at Danny. Thank you for being decent. Pay her for whatever she does.
Don't worry about me.
He looked at Mara. Thanks for taking care of people. And to the producer. No hard feelings. We just have different definitions. Then he left. He did not look back. The door clicked like a polite throat clear. Mara waited a beat, maybe 2.
We can stop, she said.
No day is worth a house on fire. I can do it, I said, because stubbornness sometimes sounds like bravery if you don't listen closely. It's 5 minutes. Upstairs was an alcove with a big north window, a stool, and a C-stand wearing a silk. The DP asked me to think about the first time I ever felt seen. I thought about an 8th grade play where a boy who didn't know me learned my name and spoke it like it mattered. I thought about bills, about Rafe's hand on my lower back the day I said I couldn't breathe, about a car key on a table. I looked into the lens and tried to make whatever the producer saw when he came in the room. Beautiful, someone said, because that is a word that costs nothing and buys a lot. We did 30 seconds of me smiling at no one and 15 of me lowering my eyes. We did a shot of my fingers on my own throat, which felt more intimate than anything else we'd done, and I hated that it worked. I did not take my shirt off. I did not touch anyone. Mara was a wall with eyes and kindness. When the DP said, "Got it," she squeezed my shoulder and said, "Let's go down." In the lounge, there was a white envelope on the table with my name on a post-it. Hold rate, Danny said softly. Plus your time. I added a little because you were honest on your forms. There was also a smaller envelope under it with our gas stipend and a receipt for parking. Every kindness made me feel worse. I texted Rafe. Where are you?
No that's.
I texted again. Come back. Let's talk. We can take the hold and leave it at that. I won't use the full rate if you're not okay with it. Then you're right.
I did cross something.
Please come back. At home, his charger was gone, his boots weren't by the door, and the small bowl he keeps screws in had been emptied, like a sentence he'd finished. At 8:12 p.m., an email arrived. Subject: lease and utilities. I'll send my half of rent this month. Next month, I'll remove my name if you want to keep the place. Otherwise, we can give notice together. I'll cover the electric transfer fee because I set it up in my name. I'm not angry. I'm done trying to be someone who can swallow this. That man would come out sideways later, and you don't deserve him.
No smir.
No stories. If people ask, say incompatibility. It's the truth. He added, at the bottom, I left your car key on the table because I didn't want to strand you. Please stop minimizing the ways you matter to me by calling everything just 5 minutes. It makes me feel invisible. I tried to call. He let it go to voicemail. I wrote him a small novel from my bed and deleted it. I sent one sentence. I'm sorry I made rent more important than your boundary. He heart-reacted it an hour later. Not words. A tiny red picture that meant, received. I could tell you I ripped up the envelope and left money on a principal altar. I could tell you I marched back to the studio and demanded they delete my cutaways. I didn't. I deposited the cash because rent is not a metaphor. I also Venmo'd Rafe half of it with a note that said car repairs because it was the closest I could come to a decent exchange. He declined it. Use it for your bills, he wrote.
I'm okay.
When someone refuses to be a villain, you run out of excuses. He didn't make a speech on Instagram. He didn't tell his foreman I'm trash. He started taking Sunday overtime, learned how to poach eggs, his pride is ridiculous and tender, and texted me once, weeks later, when my sister posted a photo of me at a coffee shop. You look well. I hope the car is behaving. Jumpers are still in the trunk. He wins by being the same man before and after he leaves. He wins by not testing me to see if I'll run after him. By knowing that if I do, it has to be because I'm changing, not because he's staged a chase. He wins by calling what happened incompatibility, so no one has to pick a team at Thanksgiving, and by moving his boots without slamming something so I never get to make his dignity evidence of cowardice. If you need the messy part, here it is, Liam. No, that was a different story. There is no other man. There's just me and my math, and an envelope that bought peace for 1 month and rented me another month to stare at myself without someone else's softness, soaking up the shock. I take the bus to work now to give the Corolla a break. I bought a torque wrench I don't know how to use yet. I'm learning what the word line means when there's no one else's face to read for cues. I don't hate the studio. They were kinder than my justifications. I don't hate money. It pays for antihistamines and the cat's weird food and the good dish soap that doesn't make my hands crack. I hate that I chose the 5 minutes where a stranger liked my face over the 5 years where a man carried groceries and never made me feel cheap. Hate is too easy a word. Regret is truer. It tastes like metal and it keeps me honest. Rafe didn't slam a door. He set down a key. He left me with a silence I can either fill with better habits or keep padding with rationalizations. He's the kind of man who fixes things quietly and refuses to be broken loudly. He won't be a test again. That's the win. He kept himself. And me? I'm not booking couples content anymore. I book dog walking apps and boring temp gigs and the late shift at the deli with fluorescent lights. It's not noble. It's just a different math that doesn't require me to put anyone I love on a table next to a contract and a camera. If you need one sentence, it's this: they picked me, not him. And he chose himself, not the show.